It's May 18th, 2022. I'm in this pattern. I'm thinking to myself, I'm contemplating and pondering this thing that they mentioned last night about in the state of New York, they're redistricting congressional maps. Then I'm thinking of this UFO hearing that they've done first time in 50 years. 50 years for me represents this Title IX, with this woman's rights in sports, and that they're not going to withhold anyone. Again, I don't know if this is motherland, fatherland. Again, I'm in a state where there are sacrilegious representatives that are nullifying certain Congress or congressional assertions and dissertations and importance, dissolving things that I don't even know they're not making publicly available, sacrificing my personal pursuit of happiness and safety. I saw yesterday at a CDC infectious disease control way, when I went for scholar study in the local area and paid for the course. They their retrievable information was at NCC, mode of infection being a reservoir, being an agent, being a vector of some sort, or fomite of some sort, the special vernacular, which I'm not going into the whole thing. But reservoir is visualization. What can I see? Lewis says it's Vede in verb in Italiano, which goes into Vader, Darth Vader, Star Wars, for me anyway. And then it sounds like Verde, Verde in green. But here we are. So now I'm watching this UFO thing, and they're not in valise with lapel bling, like fashionista type uniform of respect. They are some form of Congress that gather in some kind of suit, in some kind of multinational, quiet society with different lobes, loper in an interloper. That, by the way that the congressional districts are drawn in just New York, it would lead one to believe that their internal security has already been so hazardously pursued. It leaves myself wondering what could possibly be going on in a multifaceted way. So now, if they have these different congresses with these different agendas, the humans use this thing in this area that they base some form of capital, I believe, on, or capital market. They have these things called investments. They have investment vectors. Then they use this word called corpse, like a corporation. But if that's a dead body, there's already infection in vector terms for rate of infection through the employed. They're hiring infected employed, which are then going into a necromancy and a carnivorous carnival type of a situation, which is further deteriorating and eroding this solid corpse of solidarity and loyalty. They are eroding it, and then they're piling on these morts, these dead, and I don't know if these are their ROEs, which is is it right, like a rite of passage? Are they using it, or is it a like exhortation, but with surgical precision? It's really, I mean, I can pronounce where and question. I'm an Rh negative. I, at the moment, don't know where the other Rh negatives have gathered and under what symbol and label or what sound. Because the place where I am with this seems to have a layer of cannibalism, mortuary, and necromancy that they're using in some sacrilegious way in order to break down and rebuild. But the ideology of Democratic Republic in a balanced format with this many Congresses. I mean, I look at just the state of New York, the way that they've drawn the map. Suffolk is at the first, and then I don't even know what number they're up to. And then you have these people that have inserted themselves as the rulers or the overlords of these development plans. I don't understand how any of this got started, or who gave these allowances, who gave these congressional allowances to grow in this really dangerous petri dish or agar without controlled disease on top of that. I mean, this is burdening disease, and it's an infectious manner that has grown so quickly and like in strategic position, but I don't know who would have approved this level of insurgence with such precision, replacing vectors that I needed as an Rh negative. There are Rh positives that look Rh negative. I don't understand how I was withheld from something called a US that has some kind of arm or some kind of label over North America that divides North America and Canada. I mean, Canada and United States of America, there's some kind of divide and border there, yet we are in the same continent. I don't understand that either. They run by a whole different system as well. I don't understand how this particular territory got divided into, especially in New York, this one puzzle piece, how it, in bicameral standards, got separated into so many at the same time. And then where is the articulation and congruency to keep to keep religious standards amongst the union? It seems very sacrilege everywhere you go, but sacrilege leads to death and leads to, whether it be death of the actual body of governance itself, or whether you're talking about, I mean, like, it just feels it feels like tribal has just, I don't know. I see efforts being made in this baby formula in some of the headlines in the local area, but there has been, it's so much of this congressional, whichever, with insurgents of vectors that put Rh negative, since I'm stuck here under some POWMIA within their congressional flourish or like bloom of some sort that's causing me doom. I mean, I don't know how else. I mean, it's been spoken of in many different. You have Helen of Troy that argues with Sparta. You have Hela, who argues, who's part of something called a Ragnarok. I mean, there's all different other sorts of things. I'm stuck somewhere in this mythological, but now it's coming to light. But I don't even have access to the anthropologic to understand the anthropomorphic, the way that this metaverse or this metaphoric has taken shape and hold through some real world participation of things that I also have no connection to. it looks very messy. That's what the poli-science person said at NYU. Now, by poli-science, I don't know, again, what their algorithms and their derivatives are driven by. I don't know if they're in an Rh negative way of safety position, and then they build their construct out from there into a life-sustaining method, or if they're using the Rh negative position to further sacrilege and causing mass casualties and deprivation. Because at the moment, I feel very deprived. I feel like they all talk about this pursuit of happiness. Great. I've been withheld from that pursuit of happiness. I've also been hunted. I've been hurt. Not because of my own anything. I mean, I'm under certain congressional whatever that they were working on. It's a different star system completely. I might turn out to look one way under their illegal actions with deceptive practices being pursued in one of these districts. How do I protect myself from that level of being hunted and a victim when I have no idea what they're passing, what they're speaking of, and so on and so forth? This creates such a gaping hole and problem between management and trying to pursue happiness and even just trying to survive. And forget about carrying children into this world, then that becomes even further off, because where is their future going to land? And then you have some people who don't really care about your individualness. They just want your story so they can go campaign and do some other things to build themselves something called a legacy, which I've never even heard of. I mean, that's their only, main objective, is to just build themselves some stronger whatever. But I don't even know how that works. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.